We are live. We are live. Welcome to College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do us well, please subscribe to our channel. Smash the like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and your friends. If you want to support this Rebel Outpost, if you want to support the true home for the college football sickos with a donation to help us keep the lights on, hit that dollar sign where you make a comment, and I'll get to your super chat as quick as I possibly can. Welcome into the studio that sits on the corner, the very corner of Keith Jackson Parkway, Kurt Gowdy Avenue. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to become a legend with your comments and with your phone calls. We are coming on here late Sunday. We usually don't come on this late on a Sunday. But we did get our new equipment. I think I've been testing it. And it looks like it's working. Now, of course, you're still going to get some buffering and stuff like that. But we are hoping we're not going to get any major microphone or camera completely going out. We got a new station deck, and it should work. It should work for the next 9 to 10 months. That seems to be the history. Again. We are going to put out Now, we're only going to put out one part of this. But we got some information from a Virginia Tech Hokie money perch. We have never put this person's information out before. It is an associate of BTM, of one of BTM's associates. We've had Florida State money perch. We've had North Carolina money perch. Who else do we have? I know we had somebody else. I can't remember. My mind is going blank on me. But tonight is Virginia Tech. And there was some emails back and forth. I am basically going to read you the body of the major email. And of course, there were questions back and forth. I asked for some questions to be asked. They were answered. But I'm just going to fill those in while I go through the body of the main email. I'm not going to show the email. I'm going to read it. It is from Virginia Tech's perspective. What is even more interesting about this email, it is from Virginia's perspective. And it would, if this is accurate, now we got the okay. I'm not doing any damage. I am not doing any damage to any sources, or that's the number one rule. I'm not gonna burn anybody here. But we got the okay. I'm gonna put this out there, and it is something that you just might want to put in the back of your head while we go through this. Now, some of these in the history of PATC, some of these money perch, man, it's, the Florida State money perch on December 26, 22, when we read his email. And he was saying that within 2 months, the athletic director of Florida State was going to say something about how things are going to have to change in the ACC, and the Seminoles were going to have to put the stake in the ground. Well, Michael Alford came out February 24th and did exactly that of 2023. So some of these are incredibly accurate. North Carolina money perch has been incredibly accurate. So we're going to put this information out. I'm going to set the table on this. Going to set the table. Oh, Arizona State money perch, who was dead accurate. He was the person that kept telling us, there's not even not that there wasn't a Pac-12 media deal that the presidents were going to agree on. The Arizona State money perch kept telling us there's no deal, there's nothing for the presidents and the Pac-12 to agree upon. While there were so many reports, thank you, Jose, my mind is absolutely gone. Thank you, Jose, for reminding me. While there was other people saying, we think the Pac-12 is going to get $35 million per year, and John Canzano and John Wildner, I got no problem with either gentleman, but there was so much information out there. And the Arizona State money perch was saying, wait, we have nothing. We don't even have something We don't even have something to turn down. So thank you for reminding me of that, Jose. Okay, back to the state of Virginia, because that's what this show tonight is about. What is interesting, okay, there are two things about this information. One, the Virginia Tech money perch. And I'm not going to describe this person any more than that. So don't even start. We're not going to go any further. We're just going to say the Virginia Tech money perch. They believe, and they're hoping to believe. They're hoping, believing. They're hoping and they believe that Scott Hamilton's report is credible to the point where the Virginia Tech money perch has been told by, and we and I got this written down in my notes. We have the okay to describe it as such. Again, I am not doing anything that I am not allowed to do. I've gotten the full. I'm not doing anything unethical. If you believe this live show is unethical, turn it off. But we are not doing anything unethical. This is one of the things, one of the tools that we use here at Peek Around the Corner to break news, and we've been doing this for well over a decade. So you do what you do with this information, whatever you want to do with it. But it is my obligation as the host of College Football YouTube to present it. You all spend really good. You have given hard-earned money, support, time to this YouTube channel. Your sweat, your tears, your celebration of wins, your heartbreak and losses of all our watch parties. So this is your channel. So I got to give it. No matter how much I get raked over the coals, I don't give a bleep. There are a couple of things here. One is the Virginia Tech money perch believes there's credibility with Scott Hamilton's reporting. Now, this is where I stopped the last time here. We can call it this because we've been given the okay to say this. Allegedly, a UVA, University of Virginia official has given information that is known to the Virginia Tech money perch that they believe that the Scott Hamilton's report on Virginia is credible. And there is a reason why it's credible. And we're going to get into it. The Virginia Tech, they were part, and this was back and forth in the emails that I'm not going to go over today. Maybe I'll do it in a couple of days from now, a week from now. But the Virginia Tech was part of the Magnificent Seven discussions. And you all know the history of Virginia Tech getting into the ACC. You all know the Virginia Tech political landscape in the state of Virginia. This is, according to the Virginia Tech Money Perch, they believe they've got one shot to get into the Big Ten Conference. Now, of course, we all got our biasness, right? The Virginia Tech Money Perch, and I'm not going to have any more description of this person other than that, but you can well imagine that this person and other people that he knows has got a lot of skin in the game when it comes to the Hokies athletic department. This information is about Virginia Tech's one shot. And that one shot that they've got, they're starting to believe the impossible dream might just happen. It could break that way. Virginia Tech needs a couple of things to happen. Without these couple of things happening, they don't got no shot, according to the Virginia Tech Money Perch. And we have Peek Around the Corner. We have not discussed Virginia Tech at all. Well, except in the Holy Smokes Theater, right? We've had them in the row behind Georgia Tech, Stanford, and Duke. Third row off from the stage. And what is interesting is the Virginia Tech Money Perch talks about all those universities in his email. Virginia Tech believes they've got one shot. And what is even more interesting, when I read it, and then when I asked BTM and his associates to ask certain questions, because I do not have a direct line to this person. What is interesting, the Virginia Tech is like, we got one shot, and it's to the Big Ten. It's not to the Southeastern Conference. They believe they got zero shot. It is quite interesting. So we're gonna talk about that tonight. I've got the okay. I am gonna let it rip, and we're gonna get your comments. Number one, first of all, I wanna again apologize to all of you about the equipment challenges we've had the last couple of days. We had a station deck that was failing on us. We got a new one. It was delivered today. I've tested it. We'll see what happens. If something bad happens during the show, then we've got a different problem. We've got a connection problem. But I think we're going to be good. One more thing. I want to say thank you to the little general, to Mireya Hernandez Garcia Flugar, the moderator of PATC. I want to tell you thank you, honey. For 23 years ago today, you said I do in front of our friends and family. Thank you so very much, Mireya. Thank you for letting me be a part of your great adventure. Thank you, honey. On July 27th, 2002, we got married. And of course, I sang. I sang at our wedding. We had our wedding in a little cabin in the woods. I sang it a cappella. There was no music. I had no help. I was a little off key. And it's been that way for 23 years. So thank you, honey. I know you're watching this because I know you're doing stuff in the house and you're watching the program. Thank you, honey. I love you so very much. Okay, let's get to it. Helmer Hennessy. If Penn State loses to both Oregon and Ohio State, can they still deserve an at-large spot in the CFP? My answer to that is yes. Yeah, because it depends on what happens in other conferences in the Big Ten. I think so. Yes, I think they can. But I think if Penn State loses to Oregon and Ohio State, both games, I don't know if they've got, I don't think they can, they got to win one of those games. Because if you lose both, I'm going to say this, Mr. Henderson, if Penn State loses both those games, they're going to lose another game. Because the heartbreak, the psychological breakage that would happen in Happy Valley, technically they could deserve an at-large spot. But if they lose both those games, I don't think they're going to make it, Helmer Hennessy. Hopefully that answers your question. They got to win one of those games. They got to win one of those games. This is it, Penn State. This is it, Coach Franklin. This is it. Thank you, Hennessy, for the super chat. Thank you so very much for your support. I very much appreciate it. Thank you for starting us off. We are going to do a roll call. And then we're going to do a spotlight. The spotlight is on the Ole Miss Rebels. I've been a little tough on the Ole Miss Rebels. I got to admit. I was tough on them last year. That defense last year was so physically dominating, and that offense was so soft. Soft. S-A-W-F-T. Soft. And now they don't have Jackson Dart. And I think there's a lot of teams in the Southeastern Conference that are going to move past the Ole Miss Rebels this year. I believe that. Florida, Missouri, Auburn, Oklahoma. Let me know how wrong I got it in the comment section or with your phone calls. We are going to put the hot spotlight on the Ole Miss. Now, they've got some good things going on, right? Of course they do. They got one of the best linebackers, if not the best linebacker in the entire country. They lost a lot on defense. They got some coming back on defense. That offense, well, we'll get into it. So we're going to do the spotlight on Ole Miss, and then we're going to jump right in to the Virginia Tech Money Perch discussion. For the very first time here at Peek Around the Corner, we are going into Hokie country. Virginia Tech Money Perch. Really interesting. I really haven't, we got it early today, so I'm going to find it fascinating what you all think he says. Really, I think what you guys here in the PATC family, your response to what he says is going to be, for me, really incredibly interesting. So we're going to get into it. Two masters in the house. Handshake deals. Mr. E-Man is here. Nathan Jones. Coy's in the house. Bo Weevil. Mountaineer Memes is here. Finely Tuned is here. Kilani L is here. Don Scruggs is in the house. Stormy Cyclone. Tough Tony. Tony is getting ready for the Gophers. CFB Plus is in the house. Lee Go Gators is here. Edward the Auburn Tiger is here. Tumas to AMAC, D5 Terps, Stormy Cyclone, Daniel Gygax. Daniel Gygax. We know the story. Virginia Tech were tired of being beat by our beloved Mountaineers and cried their way to the ACC. Bimba 75-79. Go Black 45 is in the house. Cranky Tiger, Chris G is in the house. Love all your VT hate tonight, clowns. Wow. The elbows are being thrown. The elbows are being thrown to my beloved Minnesota Golden Gophers. Beloved. You forgot the word beloved. Stephen McNeely, God bless Mireya. That is absolutely true. Karan Shakar is in the house. Charlie Atwood, what did you sing? I created a song. The song was called Princess of the Seas. Princess of the Seas. It would have been Greg the Gold. It would have been a gold record if I would not have sang it off key. Nittany 89 is in the house. Ryan Matson is here. Sky Yuma. Cheeseburgers are horrible for the singing voice. You cannot eat dairy before you sing. Cheeseburgers are horrific for the singing voice. Eating hamburgers is tremendous for the singing voice. Thomas Coker is in the house. I don't know what that means. Chad Brooks is here. Ryan Brooks is here. Charles Armstead. Who else is here? The Walking Geek is in the house. Same James. DCB 67. Carlton Hurdle. The frogs are coming. Okay, guys, let's get to our show. Again, if you like the content, smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, but you got to turn on those notifications. If you're going to subscribe to this National College Football YouTube channel, you've got to turn on your notifications because we can come on live at any time. At any time, covering everything in college football. So turn on those notifications. Go Buckeyes, Don Scruggs, Al Woody. Okay. First, we're going to get to the Ole Miss spotlight, and then we're going to go into Virginia Tech Hokie country here in a moment. Let's just hope everything keeps working. I think they will. Austin Simmons. Okay. Now, he's not going to be Jackson Dart. We know that. Austin Simmons, a lot of good reports coming out of Ole Miss. Last year, threw for 282 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, almost 60% completion, 154. It was his freshman season. He did play 9 games, bits and parts of 9 games. Bits and parts of your 9 games. So he's a sophomore this year. He's come in with a lot of hype, a lot of promise. Now my question is, okay, we're gonna watch Austin Simmons, right? We're gonna watch him play. Okay, he's got a pretty good runway into the season. We're going to go over the schedule later, but they start with Georgia State, at Kentucky, at home at Arkansas, at home Tulane, at home LSU. They don't play at Georgia and at Oklahoma until the middle of October. Austin Simmons might have his feet wet. But what is this what is the help Austin Simmons is getting? Last year, Ole Miss offensive line pass protection, okay. Offensive line running game, horrific. Absolutely horrific. If you remember, you watch those Ole Miss games, if it was 3rd and 1, if it was 4th and 1, they were going to give it off to a lineman. They weren't even going to give it to one of their running backs. They could get no push on that offensive line. None. Zero. They were soft on offense. Incredibly soft on offense. And their running backs now, Logan Diggs. This was his 2023 stats. Last year he played in one football game. 657 yards, 5.5 rush per average, 7 rushing touchdowns, 8 receptions. Logan Diggs, LSU. Before that, he played at Notre Dame for a couple of years. Logan Diggs, he's not a superstar. Pretty good year in 2023. Pretty good year in 2023. But again, he's going to be running behind that Ole Miss offensive line. Is that offensive line going to be any better when it comes to the running game? Austin Simmons, a sophomore quarterback, first year as a starter here in the SEC, he's going to need help. He's going to need help. Kaden Lee is the guy who should be his number one target. Kaden Lee is coming back, 57 receptions, 874 yards receiving, 15.3 average per catch, 2 receiving touchdowns. Kaden Lee has got to be the straw that stirs this drink. I don't think it's going to be in the running game. And it ain't going to be Jackson Dart. He's gone. Austin Simmons is going to need help. And it's got to come from Kaden Lee. But more than that, the big wild card, in my opinion, with the Ole Miss offense is this guy, Harrison Wallace. You talk to any Penn State Nittany Lion fan, a transfer coming from Penn State, I don't even know. I mean, this was Harrison Wallace's 3rd year at Penn State. First couple of years, I think he had seasons less than 20 receptions. 3rd year, 46 receptions, 720 yards receiving, 15.7 average, 4 receiving touchdowns. But he did not live up to the hype. There were times that nobody could get open. Nobody could get open for Drew Aller. Even with that great offensive line and Singleton and Kyron Allen and that incredible Tyler Warren, the tight end, their receivers disappointed. Go watch the Penn State Notre Dame game. I don't know if this was I don't know about this transfer. Hopefully for Ole Miss it works out, but I don't know, guys. And then you look at their defense. Their defense was absolutely spectacular last year. The number 2 scoring defense in all of college football. All of college football. The Rebels last year set a school record with 52 sacks. Led the nation, the entire nation, in tackle for losses of 120. And they're losing almost all of that production. they're losing almost all of that production, except for Mr. Perkins. Mr. Perkins, who might be, Sunterian Perkins might be the best linebacker in all of college football. 32 solo tackles, 60 combo, 14 tackle for losses, 10.5 sacks. So they lost a lot of dudes, but they did not lose their number 4. So when you watch an Ole Miss game, look out for Mr. Perkins coming on the outside linebacker, pass rusher. If you look at the Ole Miss football schedule, that's the Ole Miss football schedule. How they start the season, I think it works for this team. At Kentucky, home against Arkansas, Tulane. Remember, this is Austin Simmons' first year as a starter. LSU, going to be tough. Washington State, then they got Georgia, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Florida. In that spot, I think Ole Miss loses all of them. I think that is where the season caves in on Ole Miss. But it is better to have those games the second half of the season than at the beginning when you're breaking in Austin Simmons. Cranky Tiger says they go 9-3. I don't have Ole Miss going 9-3. I've got them losing. 8-4, I think, is their ceiling. I think 7-5 is going to be their sweet spot. I don't got Ole Miss going to the playoffs. I don't have them as a bubble team. Let me know how wrong I got it. Am I being too tough on Ole Miss? I don't think Logan Diggs can be the guy. I think Kaden Lee is a very good receiver, no question about it. And I think he can be our RW1. But I don't think Wallace is RW2. Perkins is an absolute beast. I think it's very tough, guys. You know what's interesting about the SEC and what's interesting about the Big Ten is there are so many quarterbacks that this is their first year starting. Bryce Underwood. I've already forgotten. Ohio State. Austin Simmons. Arch Manning. Bo Pribula. Gunnar Stockton, really. I don't know. There's a bunch of them. And you're not seeing that in the Big 12. The Big 12 is filled up with experienced quarterbacks. ACC, somewhat the same thing. You got your Miller Moss, your Carson Beck, your Cade Klubnik. But in the SEC and the Big Ten, you got guys who haven't played. So I guess what I'm saying is, like the Big Ten, I don't got Michigan. I don't got Michigan as a bubble team. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. Now, if Bryce Underwood goes into Norman, Oklahoma, and he looks fantastic and Michigan wins, I'm going to look like the idiot that I truly am. But hopefully we can disguise that for another week. But see, that's why I've got Luke Altmaier, Illinois, and Fernando Mendoza, Indiana. That's why I got them ahead of Michigan. You got Dante Moore, Oregon. In the Southeastern Conference, I got all my trust in Arch Manning. But again, what about guys like Lenore Sellers? What about Arkansas Taylon Green? He's gone through all this. He's gone through all this learning, right? Learning and drinking from a fire hose and learning how to play on the road in the Southeastern Conference. And I think there's I think Ole Miss is going to take a step back. I don't think they're going to be a bubble team. Let me know how wrong I got it. Let me know how wrong I got it. Kerry knows. Florida State is mentioned in this article. Just what the Big Ten needs. Another turnkey. Thank you for the super chat. Kerry Gold knows. I appreciate it. Obviously, I'm not reporting that. I'm only giving the information, an email that was presented to me, and then we had questions back and forth. Really, really interesting conversation. We are going to get into it right now. Thank you, Kerry Gold knows, for your support. I appreciate it. All the support you've given this program for the last couple of years. I do appreciate it so very much. Armistead says 9-3. I got 8-4. Don Scruggs says Arch Manning is overrated. You hope, Mr. Scruggs. You hope. Nessmeyer. He's ready to go. Thank you, Jason 1. Mateer. He's ready to go, except he's taking a big jump. He's taking a big jump. Christopher Mercado. I might need some more artwork. Christopher Mercado. I'm going to have to send you a message. Haas Heine is the name to watch this year. Remember the name Heine. Oklahoma State speedster. Speed, lightning speed. Haas Heine. So we are in the middle of a horrendous storm. That noise you hear is bad. So again, we're going to do the best we can. Big thunderstorms, big storms throughout Minnesota. It started southern Minnesota, has creeped up to where I'm at. So if something happens, well, is that, how bad is that? Is it real bad? Okay, the little general has come into the studio. Am I supposed to stop this or what? Honey. Okay, I'm going to try to get through this email here. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, it is severe in our area. There's no question about it. I mean, the walls are being hit here. I'm going to get to this email, and then we're going to shut this down. I am going to go through this email, then we're going to shut this down. I want this on tape. This is from Virginia Tech Money Perch. Virginia may not end up with UNC. The Southeastern Conference is expanding with 2 schools. If the SEC is expanding with 2 schools, maybe UNC and Clemson. If the Southeastern Conference expands to 4 schools, Virginia Tech is hoping it's UNC, Duke, Florida State, and Clemson. While this move grows the Southeastern footprint, it's also a nod towards brands. This move would double up Florida, South Carolina, and North Carolina representation in the Southeastern Conference. If the Southeastern Conference is looking primarily at brands over growth of footprint, we at Virginia Tech hope the Big Ten takes a look at getting into Virginia and taking over the entire state of Virginia with the Virginia Tech edition. Miami, Notre Dame, Virginia Tech, and UVA is our one shot at joining the Big Ten. If the Southeastern Conference is taking the state of North Carolina, it might push the Big Ten to go all in on state of Virginia. But to make it work financially, the Big Ten would have to take Miami and Notre Dame. We don't see any hope without Notre Dame for Virginia Tech. We were told by UVA official that they are under the belief Stanford is no longer in the Big Ten plans. Big Ten Network is now on basic coverage in Northern California. Stanford, according to UVA official, has lost their spot in the Big Ten. And UVA will be its Notre Dame replacement. It will be Notre Dame's partner. If that is the case, we at Virginia Tech would like to be, and we think we can be, the University of California. With Notre Dame, Virginia, Miami, we would hope our advantages versus Georgia Tech in all things, but academics and research would be overlooked. We are a research university. We have a mature, heavily invested fan base, great environment, willingness to do what we need to do to make it happen. Virginia to the Big Ten could be our ticket to the Big Ten, but none of this is possible without the Southeastern Conference expanding to 4 schools and the Southeastern Conference selecting Duke over Virginia, which we think is possible. Okay, now we are going to go over this tomorrow morning. For now, I'm going to have to get off this live show. We're going to lose our electricity probably pretty quick. I'm glad our equipment worked, but Mother Nature is going to kick us off here. So again, until next time, from all of us at PATC to all of you, please take care of each other. I wanted to get that on tape. We'll talk about it tomorrow morning in detail. Tomorrow early morning in detail, and we got more information to give from a Virginia Tech perspective. From a Virginia Tech perspective, based on a UVA official, Stanford is no longer in play. UVA wants to take that spot, going with Notre Dame, and that is the one shot that Virginia Tech believes they have to get into the Big Ten. Until next time, again, from all of us at PATC to all of you, please, y'all take great care of each other. Thank you so very much.